Greetings from the black holes of Dakota Territory, United States of Athletics. With swimming on my mind, I'll relate to you my Shirley Babashoff experience. Much smaller scale, much slower swimmers, and it's pretty close to 50 years ago now. But it was in Rochester, Minnesota, John Marshall High School. We were a pretty good team back then, and team is the key word here. We had depth, we had fun, and we managed to get second in the state, which was the equivalent of getting first, because Golden Valley, as my ham radio call sign would imply, W1 Golden Valley, always won. But we had a swim meet going on with a team from across the way. I won't identify the town, but they had the fastest 400-yard freestyle relay probably in the state. And it was yards back then. We swam short course, a 25-yard pool in Minnesota indoors in the middle of the winter. Well, we always had close meets with this team, and our relays were pretty closely matched, but they were better than we were, generally speaking. The swim meet came down to the last relay, the final relay, the 400-yard freestyle relay. We had to beat them in that relay in order to win the meet. I even remember the scores. We would have won 48-47 had we beaten them, and we would have lost 54-41 had we failed to beat them. So it came down to the race. Two of the swimmers on our team were very sick, shouldn't have even been in school that day. I was one of them, and Doug was the other one. That's all I'll identify him as. Doug was the other one. I swam the second leg of the relay. Doug swam the third leg. A guy named Ed anchored the relay, and a guy named John led it off. And so we started in with our race, knowing we had to beat them in order to win the swim meet. And it was going to be very difficult. Not only were they better than we were, generally speaking, in that relay, but two of us were sick and shouldn't have even been in school that day, as I already told you. But we had to swim. And I told one of my swimming buddies, when a wild beast is at bay, that is when it is most deadly. And that proved to be true in our case. We not only beat them, we beat them handily. We kicked their ass, you might say. Or back then, I guess we would have said we whaled on them. But whatever we did, we beat them by a half a length of the pool, set a team record in the process. I did just about my best time, and my friend Doug, who had to be pulled from the pool, he was so sick. He couldn't get out under his own power at the end of his relay leg. He didn't swim his best time, but he swam well enough to really do a good job with us, and the team put together won that relay and won that swim meet. Not us individually, but the team. And I remember the joy of that moment, that final moment. And I remember the look on Shirley Babashoff's face when she anchored the relay that beat the East Germans. I don't remember whether it was 72 or 76. My particular occurrence was in 1971, I believe. But in any case, if you swim long enough, if you're dedicated to the sport, sooner or later something like that's going to happen to you. Maybe not on the scale of Shirley Babashoff, maybe not on the scale of Mark Spitz, but on the scale of Rochester John Marshall High School, circa 1971. I lived in the time of Mark Spitz. I came of age in the time of Shirley Babishoff. And we beat that other team and set a team record in the process. Stan Gibilisco signing off. I think I'm done with the swimming. Maybe I'll get back to electronics someday. Until next time, so long.